So the question is, has Congress been stealing money from the Social Security program? This is one of the strongly held beliefs among many seniors. And not only that, a lot of seniors believe that this is one of the reasons why the Social Security program is in trouble. And so today I did the research to find out, did Congress take money out of the Social Security program and never paid it back? And what has been the consequences of that action? So here is what I found. And it may surprise you, actually. So first, let's clear the basis. Social Security is a pay-as-you-go program. It is not a program where you pay into the system like a 401k or an IRA and there is an account with your name on it. Technically, there is an account with your name on it because they know how much you've paid into the system. But your money is not sitting there earning interest just like that, like it would do with an IRA or a 401k that you can see. What Social Security has been set up to be is a pay-as-you-go system where money that is coming in today from people who are paying payroll taxes is then used to pay retirees who are drawing from the program. This is how Social Security has functioned. This is how the system was set up from the beginning. And so here is why there is the perception that Congress has been stealing from the Social Security program. Bear with me. What happens is that when you have a situation where more money is coming or being collected from payroll taxes versus what is being paid out in benefits, you have a surplus. When you have a surplus, according to the law, Social Security surpluses have to be invested in government bonds, which essentially means that every surplus the Social Security program makes is loaned to the government in form of a specially issued government bonds. Those bonds earn interest back into the Social Security program. So there is accountability from the Social Security trustees regarding how much the government has borrowed from the program and what is owed and how much interest is paid annually. So it is incorrect to say Congress steals or stole from the Social Security program. By law, all Social Security surpluses have to be invested in treasury bonds. They are backed by the full faith of the United States government. So the widespread belief among seniors that Social Security is being stolen, or the money is stolen or borrowed by Congress and they never paid it back, is actually not true. But here's the thing. The truth is that the government indeed did borrow the money, but that is how the law has been written. So a lot of seniors say, just leave the money alone. Don't touch it. If they didn't touch it, we wouldn't be where we are. Well, they don't have a choice but to touch it because Social Security law requires that when there is a surplus, it is invested in specially issued government bonds. And so no law has been broken, but the issue is that we are confusing two main issues. One is whether the government should be borrowing from Social Security or not. Well, that is the current law, and that has to be changed in order for that to stop. But the second issue is, why is Social Security in trouble? Why are we heading towards a cliff in 2034, even some say 2032, where Social Security benefits or seniors who are on Social Security are going to see a 20 to 25% cut in their benefits? What led to that? And is that mainly because the government borrowed money and never paid it back? Or is there a larger picture going on? And I'm here to tell you that there is something bigger going on. There are three reasons why Social Security is in trouble. One, more seniors are retiring ever than before. There are more people collecting Social Security today than ever because the baby boomer generation has been retiring in record numbers, and that's going to go on for probably another 10 years. Reason number two, people are living longer in retirement. Back in the day in the 1960s, if you got to age 65, you only had on average 14 more years to live in retirement. Today, you have 20 years, 6 more years. That's a good thing. But the problem is that it also stresses a social security system that wasn't built to support that length of retirement. And then the third reason, probably the most critical, is that there are less people working to support each retiree. Previously, in the 1950s and 1960s, for example, you had 16 workers paying into the system to support every retiree. That number has continued to dwindle to the point where now in 2025, that number, depending on who you're listening to, is either 2.3 workers or 2.7 workers. Think about that. From 16.3 workers in 1950s, 1960s, now we have 2.3 or 2.7 workers supporting a retiree. That is a dramatic change. What has happened? Declining birth rates. So there are not a lot of people entering the workforce to support the amount of people who are retiring. So those three factors put together has created a crisis, which then brings the flip side of the Social Security coin, which is we talked about the fact that surpluses are invested. Well, deficits are taken out of the surplus. So when we get in a situation that we're in now where more people are claiming money than money is coming in, you have a deficit. That deficit is taken out of the rainy day fund. The rainy day fund is the Social Security Trust Fund, which is where all the surpluses from the previous year were stored and invested in government bonds. Well, that surplus money is not going to be available forever because we've been drawing out of it for years now, and it's going to run out of money in 2032. Once it runs out of money, Social Security can only, by law, pay beneficiaries what it receives from Social Security taxes. And based on estimate, what Social Security is going to receive is going to be able to pay between 75 to 80% of what is owed. That is why seniors who are on Social Security or about to get Social Security, who are on disability benefits, are going to see a 20 to 25% cut in their benefits come 2032 if Congress does not do anything about the situation. So the question is, what can Congress do? Well, Congress has a couple of options available to them. It falls within two categories. They can either bring in more money or they can slow down how much money is going out of the system. How do they bring in more money? I'll give you two quick solutions. Number one, they can increase the payroll tax rate from the current 12.4%, according to experts, to 16.5%. That could solve the problem for 75 years. Or, my favorite solution, they should remove the payroll tax cap. What do I mean by that? When you are paying Social Security taxes, only your first $176,100 is subject to Social Security taxes in 2025. So if you make $1 million, you only pay Social Security taxes on the first $175,000 or $76,100. The idea is to remove the cap so that everybody pays Social Security taxes on all their income. Or you can slow down how much money is coming out of the system. You can increase the retirement age, which is what the Social Security Commissioner recently said in a Fox News interview. Or you can slow down how much cost of living adjustment you guys are getting. And seniors already complain about how low Social Security cost of living adjustment is. So I don't think that's a good option. And then the third is to means test Social Security. So regardless of how much you paid into the system, your Social Security benefit will be determined by how much resources you have, how much assets you have. So for the wealthy, they'll get a lower benefit. For people in the low income category, they'll get a higher benefit. But a lot of people think that is unfair because why would they not pay you what you've paid into the system and determine or punish you based on how much money you've been able to accumulate over your lifetime? So the answer to the question, the short answer to the question is no, Congress did not steal from the Social Security Trust Fund. By law, they are allowed to borrow from it any surplus that comes into the system, and that is invested in government bonds that pays interest. That is all accounted for. There's a full report on the Social Security website. You can check it out. But there is a larger problem or a larger reason why the Social Security system is in trouble and is going to run out of money in 2032 unless Congress does the hard things and make the hard decisions to either bring in more money or slow down how much money is coming out of the system, or do a little bit of both. But they cannot avoid the issue, otherwise seniors are in for a lot of pain come 2032. So that's the answer to the question.